Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be styling the hero section of a travel website using HTML and CSS. So for those of us that don't know, the hero section of any website in general is basically the first portion that the user see or that you see on a website. Okay, the entire page that you see is known as the landing page, but the first portion of that landing page that you see initially is known as the hero section. So that's what we'll be styling today using HTML and CSS. Okay, so let me call it travel. So if you don't have VS Code, I advise you to download VS Code before doing this tutorial. So I'm opening it with code. So I have that opened up. And you also need some certain extensions like autosave and live server so as to view our progress. So I only need two files basically, an HTML file and a CSS file. HTML for our structure and CSS for the stylings, and every other thing we'll use CSS for in this course. So let me say index.html and styles.css. So in my index.html file, I'll use shift1 to automatically generate the HTML structure. Firstly, I'll change the title to travel 2025. Of course, you can use any other title of your choice. So in my body here, I want to basically just put out the structure, anything text image for the design I'm about to do. So the design that just popped up now is what we'll be following. So I'm going to create the structure out for this particular design. So as you can see, first of all, I'll need my navbar, right? Okay, so we'll come back to that. So I can say my navigation bar. Okay, so now I will say my what? I will generate a div here. So for everything inside my what? Everything inside the body, the major thing inside this design is going to be inside this div. So let me give it a class actually. Let me say class content. Okay, so we use the class name in our CSS to style for this entire div. Okay, so I want my content to be divided into two parts. I want the left hand side and the right hand side. So on the left hand side is where I'll have the text, the button, the shorthand text, and on the right hand side will be the socials as according to design. Okay, so first of all, on the left hand side, I'll create a dot left. So this automatically generates a div with class left, then an h1 tag. So I'll say I can still say travel 2025. So it's going to be bigger later. Then I can say paragraph. Then I'll say explore the wonders of the world. Travel go. Assuming that's the name of the website or the company. The number one travel website for you. Okay, so like our subtext there. Then I'll have a button. So in this button I'll just say explore. Okay, I'll just say explore. Okay, so I just want to explore there. Good. So now it's still inside the contents, not inside left. I want another div. So let me say dots right for the socials. Okay, it's socials, but let me just see dot right. So basically I want a div, or I can say UL, and another list of social. So I just want 4 socials. Yeah. So I'm going to get these icons later. Okay. So from front awesome, we'll get the icons for Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and let's say WhatsApp. Okay. So okay, back to our navbar here. I'll say the first one is going to be an img tag for our logo. Okay, so I don't need source sets there. So I can say alternative will be in travel logo. Yeah. So in case you cannot see the image. So let's get our assets. So there will be a link in the description so you can use the same assets that I'm using. So I'll need these two. So they will be dropped in the description below. So just drag and drop. Cool. So my src here, I'll just say, so this is going to be logo the png. Okay, then I want another list for the links in my navbar. So I'll say home, which is already on. Okay, sorry, li tag list item. So I'll say home, then I'll say about, or before about, let's say services, about, then let's say contacts. Okay, good. I think I have my structure down. So we'll be getting the icons later when we get to styling them. Okay. So the color codes we'll be using here is going to be white and ocean mist. So we'll be using the hexadecimal color for ocean mix, which is C2E7F3. We'll be jotting that down so I can see the content. Okay. Now, first of all, we need to link our CSS before we start styling. So right below the title, I can just say link CSS, then styles.css. Okay, so link href styles.css. Good. Now, okay, let's check out our HTML first. Let's see progress. So open with live server. So it's going to open up my Google. Okay, put that in full screen. Wow. So I can see my website currently. So I guess this is the image logo or travel logo here that's too big. So we'll control that using our CSS. So basically we have all our entire structure here. So we're going to design this right now. Okay, now CSS file, I'll say universal selector, let's just say padding 0, margin, so no internal space for anything unless we say so, no external space, box sizing, border box. Okay, good. So that would have, well, there's a little bit, we can see a little bit of change here, so no extra spacing. Okay, now let's start with our navbar. And we can start, let's start with the body here. Let's go with the body. So for the body, we'll be using the background image. So we'll be using the background image here. We will now say URL quotes pg.png. Okay, so if I come back to that, I can see my background image. Good. I can see my logo showing up. So the text that are black will come back to that very, very soon. So I can see the background image already fits the screen, but let me just say for future, in case you're using any other image or in case your laptop size is not like mine, so you say background size cover and background repeat, no repeat. So it depends on your laptop size. The image might be too small or it might repeat itself if your laptop is too big. So with this, it should scale perfectly. Okay, so your website or your web page, your hero section should be looking like this currently. Okay, so we're far from done. Now our nav bar, so I'll say nav. Now this image tag, so I can see the image is quite too big. So if I inspect, I can see the size of the image. See the size, so mine is on of an XR. Let me change to responsive, okay? So I can see size of image is 500 width and 500 height. Too big. Okay. So I can bring it down to, so since it's the only image on the screen, I can use the img tag alone, but let's be classy here. So let's say logo. Yeah, let's say logo. Class logo. So I'll say dot logo first. Then I'll say width. So it's 500 pixels currently. So let me bring it down to 250 pixels, and the height also 250 pixels. Check that out. Yeah, okay, it came down. That's good. So I still want it to come down a little. So I'm making sure my width and height are the same for uniformity. So let me say 150 pixels. 150 pixels. Okay, I think I want something like that. Good. And I think it's at the best position, honestly. Okay, so I want this vacation travel 2025. Good. So now my navigation links, which are here. So first of all, let's use, okay, before under nav, okay, let's give our nav, let's just say we don't really want stylings there, but let's just say padding. Let me say padding left. I'll say 20. Okay, let me say 3% because of responsiveness. Padding right 3%. So we might have to drag that image back later on. Yeah, I might have to drag the image back later on. But let's just do it now. So for the image or the logo, I'll say margin left minus, let me say minus 3%. No, let me check that out. Okay, seems okay. So I'm just reversing what I give the padding here. Okay, so now the navigation links. Okay, let's give them a class name too. Let's say class links. Okay, yeah, class links. So I'll say after this, I'll say nav, then dot class links, right? Then I'll say display flex. Okay, so I want them to be horizontally aligned. Display flex, then justify content. Let me see space around. Okay, then let's say color white. Color white. So let's see how this looks. Good. I can see all this. But first of all, it's not on the same level as our logo, and I don't want these tiny dots in front of every link. So I come back to that. So I say nav bar here. I want the nav to display flex. So on them side by side, and I want justify content space on the horizontal axis. I want it to be space between. So logo one side, links the other side. Okay, good. So now I can see by default the image has space on top, so that's why it doesn't look like it's on top. But here there's no space here, so we have to give the URL space of its own. Okay, I can see that there are two bombarded here, so let's drop down. Okay, so nav links, let me say, yeah, let's say gap to reduce the gap for, let's say, 60 pixels. Yup. Okay, not bad. Then margin top, space on top, let's say, it's looking like a 25 pixels. Does it align? Loaded. Seems like a margin top. Okay, let's use padding then for the internal spacing. So padding top 25 pixels for the nav link, not aligned. Let's go with 50. Seems like a 50. It's okay. I think it's at the baseline, so I think it's quite okay. Good. So now next thing is to remove the dots, and let's make the text bigger. So I can say font size here. I can say font size, then let's use 24 pixels. Let's see how small, how big. Too big. Let's say 22. 22 seems alright. Yeah, seems alright. But it's too big. Let's just go with 20. Good. Okay. Now those dots. Okay. Since those dots aren't elements of the UL tag, they come from the LI tag. Okay. So I will have to create another rule set here. So I'll say nav dot links. So the links is the UL, right? Then li. So for each li, I can say what list style type. Then I'll say none. So let's check that out. Voila. So we don't have the dots anymore. Good. So I think the navbar is looking okay. So we'll be coming back for the font family because I don't want it to be this. And yeah, we're going to add a logo here when we are on smaller screens. Okay. Good. So now our content. First of all, dot content. I want to set the padding left and padding right. So I can say padding left 3% consistency, padding right. So padding right also 3%. Good. So let's see. Okay. These are for the icons coming up. Okay. So I can see now is aligned, looking good, looking alright. Now I don't want to travel 25. It's not going to be like this, obviously. So but I don't want it to be directly below the navbar. So I can say the content. I'll say height 100 VH. Okay, that's height of the screen, which is this. Okay, so our navbar, let's use navbar is about like 80. So let me say 80 VH. Not 80. Seems like 80 is too much. Should we go with 70 or 75? Lucky 70, lucky 70. Okay, then I'll say, let's say display flex. Okay, so I want display flex because I want the left on one side and the right on the other side. And I'll use align items. Okay, wait, before align items, I'll say justify content here. Sorry, zoned out for a minute. Justify content, space between here. Space between. Check that out again. Good. So exactly what I wanted. The left side here and our icons are going to be lined up here, but it's not going to be dots for now or later on. Yeah. Okay, so let's bring that down. Let's say align items center. So let's check that out. I don't actually want it to be all the way down here. Why? Because it doesn't matter how big it is. Oh yeah, okay. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. So align item center. So first of all, Let's make all the text here white. Okay, so color white. Good. Now I want my H1 there. So this travel 2025, I want it to be way bigger than that. So I'll say dots content H1. So this just means the H1 inside the content div, same thing as this. The li tag inside the UL links inside navbar. So something like that, yeah. So I'll say font size. Now let's say 45 pixels. I should use percentages, probably too small. Wow, should it be way bigger than that? Yeah, I think it should be bigger than that. Let's say 50. Or do we have to bring our height down? Let me say 50 VH. So I don't want it to be too low there. Okay, I think I can work with this. Okay, so yeah, travel 2025. So I want this text to be way more, but I can't keep thinking of that. So let me just use lorem. Lorem comes to save the day. So comma, let's just say lorem. I want like 20 more words. 20 alt Z. Bam. Too much. Okay, let me just delete what I typed here. Explore the wonders of the world. Not Superman. Yeah. Let's say lorem 30. Lorem 30. My later changes to Loki. Yes, seems okay. Yeah, seems okay. Good. So yeah, I want it at this position, okay? But don't worry, let's reduce the height or the width of this paragraph tag here and bring it down a little. So that's the p tag inside content, right? So I'll just say dot content paragraph, then font. Okay, font size seems okay. Then I'll say what? Then I'll say margin top. I don't want it to be too close to the heading there. Let's just say not too much, 15 pixels. Then width, yeah, I don't want it to be the full width, so I'll say 80%. Okay, so 80% of the parent div, still too much. Let me use 60. Still too much. Nah, seems enough, good. Okay, I don't actually like the font family. I think this is sans serif, but we'll change it to poppins very soon, and this to outfit, but this doesn't seem that bad. Okay, last but not the least, our button. Say content button. So say let's start with background color. Hashtag C2E 7F3. I had to gram this. Yeah, so this is ocean mist according to the OGs. Ocean mist. So control forward slash to comments. Yeah. So yeah, let's see. So I guess okay, I'll also use this color for the icons too. So I can see the little color there. Good. Then let's say border. I don't like that border there. Border none. Remove that black color which would have removed. Then let's say height. Should we make it uniform? No. Let's say 40px. Width. I want the width to like, let it be responsive. Yeah, let's be responsive. So let's say 50%. Let's see. Too big. Wow. So definitely not 50%. So let's say 20. Let's go with 20. Okay, good. So the margin top, let's also go with 30px. Then border radius, to give that edge in percentages. Let's go with 50 px. Yeah, it looks alright. Now the color of the text should actually be white, and it should be way bigger than that. Font size, let's go with let me see 25. So yeah, it's all about 25. Wow, white actually looks very bad. It looks dangerously bad. Is it the color? Nah, I think black looked better. Yeah, let's leave it as black. Okay, so let's attach shadows 20 px, then box shadow, box shadow. So we need 4 values basically. Okay, starting with 20 px, then 15 px. Explanation loading soon. Not 15, let me see, 5 px, 5 px, 5 px. Okay, need for a shadow. Okay, to x position, y position, offset, inset, where it comes in and where it goes out. Wow, that is horrible. Okay, so I guess 20 pixels was not good. Let's go with OG5 and our color. So let me say black. No. Let's use RGBA. I'm on that A for alpha. So I'll say 0, 0, 0, then 0.5. So RGBA for alpha, the opacity basically. So I don't want it to be really black. And I don't think my font size, let's see, but it's too small. So let's go with 15. Yeah, it kind of looks alright. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. Okay, cursor pointer, yeah, cursor pointer, cursor pointer. Okay, good. I think we should also make the nav links cursor pointers, and since they're actually links, we need to wrap them around anchor tags. Oops, my bad. So first of all, so right now I am doing Control Alt Shift, or Alt Shift Control. Yeah, I think that's better. Then arrow down, bam bam bam. So you can type multiple lines at the same time. Control Shift Alt or Alt Shift Control. Anyhow, so I'll just say anchor tag generate. So I'll put hashtag because it's just what? It's just a simple hero section. I don't want it going anywhere, right? So let me just Control X one of them, Alt Shift Control again, delete the rest, then paste on each line. Because they are not at the same length, I can't use Control or Shift there. So that's like the closing tag for my anchor tag. Okay, so hashtag just means it's not going anywhere, but it behaves like a link. So if it were to be a full site, it will go somewhere. Error 101, it changed it, or it basically modified the entire life of our li there. So coming back here, so where do we style color white and everything? Guess it doesn't really matter, because I have to come here and say what nav dot links li. Why do I have to use this a? Because the blue color and underline clearly comes from the anchor tag. As you can see, immediately after I kept the anchor tag, it comes up. So I have to recognize the anchor tag here. So I'll say for that anchor tag, go back to being color. Let me just drag this color white down. So I'm using alt arrow down to drag a line down here. Color white. Then what else? I don't want the underline there. So I'll just say text decoration none. Okay. So good. Back to being normal. Yeah, seems okay. Seems okay. Now let's add our icons. And okay, what do we have left? Our icons, our font family, and let's check out the responsiveness. Yeah. So let me say Google Fonts, Google Fonts, then also open Font Awesome. Google Fonts for font families, Font Awesome for icons. So if you don't have an account with Google Fonts, simply log in, create one, completely free. After doing so, you should see your interface looking something like this. So in the search bar here, let's look for Poppins as promised. So Poppins, so that should pop up. Yeah, so I'll get my Poppins. So get font. So I already have that in my cart. Before I pack my bags, I also want outfit. So I also say outfit from my title there. So you can get any font of your choice. Just make sure they look cool based on what your website is portraying basically. So text also matter. Text lives matter. So I'll say get font. Yeah. Sorry, zoned out again. Pop-ins and outfits good. Now get embed code. So I don't need to download it. If I don't have it on my system, so I can use it more and more and more, I can date it. But I'm kind of battling with storage space on my laptop now. So yeah, subscribe for more. So I'm going to simply use the online link. So I'll just import it with CSS. But naturally or by default, you should see the link tag here. So just click at import here. Okay. Then I can copy code, but I don't want the style tag around it. So just copy what's inside, Control C. So down here is just how you can use it, pop-ins and what's all written about pop-ins and outfits. Okay. So coming to font awesome by the way. So since an online link, kind of best if I paste it first, right? So it loads up before my code. So on top here, drop. So Alt Z so that I can see everything. I don't want to have to scroll up. So keyboard shortcuts you get from me. Make sure you subscribe, guys. Okay. Import URL. So now I have pop-ins and outfits. Okay. Where is my nav links here? So yeah. Since it's an airline, I can put here. I can put here. Nobody cares. So font family. And I'll say pop-ins sans serif. Okay. So let's check that back. Let's check that back. Good. Yeah. So I want the same thing for this paragraph tag here too. So let's come down to content P, font family, also pop-ins and serif. Okay, yeah, looks good. And last but not the least, my travel 2025. So I'm kind of contemplating if I should use white for the paragraph or I should use color gray. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. First of all, font family, outfits, sans serif. So sans serif basically is just like the backup in case outfit doesn't load. Remember, outfit is coming from an online source. Okay, so comma just means if the first one doesn't load, the second one pops up. So sans serif is what I use naturally, but not that bad, right? So sans serif is the default in case it doesn't load up for some users. So I have this. So it looks way better now with the text. Okay, so the button too should also be pop-ins. So I'll say font family, pop-ins. Okay, yeah, about content P, let me say color gray, but not just any gray. I think green E, aren't they like the same thing or something? Wow, I shouldn't have even asked or tried. But let me try and pick it up a little. So let's use hexadecimal colors there. Let's see. Yeah, kind of looks like white though, but it's not white. Okay, so if I had to have something like an overlay to kind of like show, but still not bad, still not bad. So alright, given that pop-ins here I have, so let's give my button an over effect. Let me just say button here. So basically every button, when you hover on it, I want it to what transform, then I want it to scale by 1.02, and I want it to take exactly 0.85 seconds. Okay, transform to scale, transition to how long it uses. So let's see. Yeah, if you can zoom in, you can see it. Okay, so I'm zooming in for y'all. So if I hover, yeah, it comes up a little. So let's zoom back out. Yo, 100%. Okay, so yeah, not bad. Still kind of counting this black color though. I guess inspirations will come. Okay, so yeah, looks okay, looks okay. Now these icons, back to font awesome. So if you don't have font awesome is basically like the perfect website for developers. So as to get your icons, you won't have to download them online, and it's supported by vast major programming languages. Okay, HTML, React, Start, Flutter, basically everything you need to design websites. And we also have plugins on Figma for those of us that are graphic designers. Okay, so note, I wasn't paid for the promotion, so subscribe. Okay, so what do you want? Okay, first of all, let me sign in. So if you don't have an account, sign up, create your account. Takes about like 5 minutes, put your email verification and everything, but super straightforward. And after you sign up, you have to create something called a kit. So basically, as you are following up the sign up process, you basically see the you basically see it as you're creating the process. So it's something that comes in the setup process. So just make sure you name it something sensible, like my first kit, and not leaving it as the default number generated. Okay, so let me log in. You can see my email but not my password. So sign in. So I'll just click your kits here. Then I can see my first free kit that was created in the setup process, so you should have yours too. So if you want to get the paid version, professional version, basically other versions they have, you can add the kit. So for now, still using the free version, so just click on that. Okay, so all I need here is this script element. Okay, just copy back to my code. Now in my head tag, inside my head tag, okay, now inside my head tag, all I need to do is paste. So I've imported what the development tool for font awesome. Now I can start using the icons. Obviously there won't be any difference now, but I can start using the icons. Back to the website on this page, then I can look up what I can look up. What do we need first? Facebook search. So we need for Facebook, Insta. I don't think we need TikTok, but let's just get TikTok. Facebook, Insta, TikTok, and WhatsApp. So let me get the Facebook F. So click on whichever icon you want. Good. So because I don't want this default color, I'll just come to styles here. I can get animations too, okay. Well, which animations will be cool? Should we get beats? Okay, let's get beats. Kind of weird bounce, no. Let's just stick with no animation. So come to our styling options, then pick your own color. So click on the color section or color option here to change it. So I want my hexadecimal, so I can type C2E7F3. Yeah, I think I know it off now. 7F. Okay, 7F3. No, it's 7F3. Good. So this is ocean mist. Yeah. So good. That's loaded up. So all I have to do now is just click it. I don't need to copy. Just tap on it. Then you've copied it. Good. So where is that guy? Okay, Li here. First guy or first icon is our Facebook F icon. Good. Clear that out. Then Let's get Instagram. Okay, so basically the same thing. I can just get it since I don't want to stress myself with the colors. Get it, paste it. So I can see it just that styling just adds normal HTML style attributes, inline CSS, right? So just paste it, right? Work smarter, not harder. Okay. The next one, WhatsApp. Repeat this process until we have everything. WhatsApp, WhatsApp. So let's just see what. Let's go with this one. Click back. Think here TikTok. Then copy the style again because our clipboard has a new item as its data. So clipboard is where what you copy stays or goes. So let's say TikTok. TikTok. Good. So last but not the least, TikTok. Finally, I felt like forever. So drop our style again. Bam. Okay. So I should have everything done. Yeah, I can see them. And I'm kind of starting to doubt the colors. I think I might have to go back to white. Yeah, I might have to go back to white. But first of all, what am I going to do? I'm going to increase the size and remove that white style type coming from Ella. Okay, so dot right, dot right, dot right, ul, li. So for each li, I'll say what this style type non-margin top 20 px. Okay, what does that do? Nah, I don't want my margin top 20 px. I want it as good as it is. Okay, margin top 10 px at least. Margin top, let's see 10 px. Okay, and the size of each li. So I'll say uh size, font size 20. So basically icons are like text too. Okay, in HTML, so you treat them like texts, move with them like text. So 20 px, yeah, is it a bit too big? Nah, it's not too big, but the color is definitely not giving. So I guess we just have to remove this, or I don't need to remove it. I can just change it to just type white. I have to repeat the steps again. So white, I could have used my multi-line typing, but they are not aligned. Maybe I don't just, I can see, yeah, it looks way better now. So I'm basically almost done. How can I say done? So one last thing, let me check the responsiveness. Okay, now we're seeing some wonders. Right, we're seeing some magical wonders. So now that it's on smaller screen, I can see that it's clearly not aligned. So I can come now here and say responsive. Okay, comment control /. And say responsive. I'll say responsive stylings. Okay, so basically I want it to be responsive. I want it to look good on every screen. Generally I can literally give stylings for every single screen, but I just want the major ones. I'm already on a laptop screen, so basically it will look good on any other laptop or desktop. So I just want for like tablets, which should be around 768 pixels, but I like to go up to 800 pixels. And I also want phones which range from let's say 300 for small phones like Samsung Z Flip to like let's say 400. Okay, so basically just those three. Yeah, so let's say So we use the add media query. So add media, then screen. So we use the add media query. Sorry. So shift A add media query. Okay. So screen, then and max width. I don't need the and, by the way. Max width. So max width just means the maximum. Okay. So it just means from 800 pixels and below. So I can say 800 pixels. So the maximum is 800 pixels, which means 800 pixels and below, which is for tablets, right? But when people really visit view our website on the tablets, we cannot predict. As a developer or front-end designer or developer, you have to think of every possibilities. Yeah. So first of all, I don't. Okay, now let's start. I think tablet should be something around here. I can use this. Oh, it doesn't look that bad on tablets. But let's be professional. I can't be minimizing my screen to check. So you have to use the right way. Let me say inspect, then what's dimensions. So I can see different devices here. So I think next hub should be a tablet. Yeah, it looks good on tablets. So I guess we just have to go straight with phones. Yeah, straight to phones. So let's start from phones like phone 14. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look too good on iPhone 14. This is an hero section. So note, fonts are way longer. We don't need the the background image to reach the end to look very weird. Most of the time I'll need to probably change the image to something that fits a font. So basically an image, a more vertical image, okay? But we're not going into that now, so I can just leave it as it is. Okay, so but what I need here, or what I need to know here, is just that I don't want the links to show. Okay, so okay, iPhone 14 is 430, the width is 430, so I guess I'll start from 450. So I don't want the links to show. Then these guys are not the full width, so I have to, let me add up something real quick. That's our content, right? So I'll say content, it should be with 100%. Okay, so no matter what, you should have the full width of refresh or top. Okay, try that again. Inspect, right click, inspect, iPhone 14, zoom out. Okay, so now let me start out with the link. I don't want the link to show on small phone. So if you notice, you don't usually see links like that on small phone or your phones. You usually see something like an hamburger icon. Okay, so you can call it stack, or let's type hamburger. Not like the food though. It's just basically like three lines on top of each other. And Fontosum doesn't get it. Yeah, bars. So I guess we call it bars. Okay, so again, copy this my HTML. So where is it? Okay, so I'll just keep it as an external. Yeah, let me keep it as an external. No, not inside URL. Let me create as a new div. Let me say dot bar. So these dot bars, I don't want it to show unless it is on any screen below 450px. So style, then I'll say color white. Okay, and okay, let me increase the size to font size 20px, right, like the other icons. It should be bigger, 25. Okay, so by default, let me see. So anywhere before responsive styling, that's on laptops and any other thing, I want to say the bars display none. So it shouldn't show like this. I shouldn't be seeing my navbar or that bars good. But when I'm on small screens like 450 and below, so change that to 450. So I don't want to design for tablets. So 450 and below, I'll say let's start with the bars. So the bars should what should like simply use display block. since a div, natural behavior. Okay, now I want to hide those links. So I think I call them links here. Links. I can just say the links what the links display none. So the bars come on and the links hide away. Okay, so let me check. Right click, inspect, zoom out. Wow, I'm still seeing my links. Okay, good thing to know. My bars are showing, but my links are still showing, and they shouldn't be. Okay, but my bars don't show on normal screen, right? So it clearly seems my dot links aren't hiding. So CSS behaves like this sometimes. It doesn't want to find dot links. So remember what we did up there? I have to specify nav. So the dot links in nav. Most times, if you use it directly, CSS finds it. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay. So come back to that. I should see only my good. I should see only that. Another thing I need to do is I need to bring it down. Okay. So what was the padding top? We gave them links. Give it 50px. So consistency, right? So let's just say the padding top here. Padding top 50px. So it should be where it should be. Okay. So if I check that again, just so it can look good on different screens. Okay, good. I can see the nav bar there. Good, good. I can see the icon at the right place. Now another thing is the text is now too long for mobile devices. So what things we can do, I can simply reduce the size of the text so as not make it that much. Okay, and my button is too small. So but the text looks okay. So I'll do what I'll say hmm, let's say none of here responsive styling. Sorry, zoned out again. Let's say um, what's the name again? Content P. The content P here. Then I'll say font size. So I don't want it to be that big. So I think paragraph should be around 18 or 16 pixels. So let's drop it down to 14px. I actually want to like shorten the text, but let's keep it clean. So let's see, does it drop? Yeah, it drops in size. So it kind of looks okay. But let's increase the width so as it kind of looks weird here. And I really want to reduce the height. Oh yeah, the text basically. Okay. So let me say width. So the width was what? The width was 60% originally. Let's take it up a notch, 75%. And for the button, since iPhones shrink is not as big as our laptops or desktop, we cannot possibly use 20% for the width, so we have to kick that up a notch too. I think I should go with 50% for button. Am I saying button? So I think only width is needed here. So let's say 50%. Okay. Yeah, good. Yeah, like that. Okay, so I can see this is responsive enough. So if I was to do an entire website, I have to basically edit as I'm going, because it will be really stressful to design the entire website and then have to use responsive styling for every single element. Okay, but in the coming videos it's just way easier to use Tailwind CSS. So in the comment section, drop ideas on what videos I should do next, what kind of website I should do. I'm looking e-commerce, so let's look into JavaScript. Should I drop tutorials on JavaScript? Just let me know in the comment sections. Okay, so I think let's just bring this down a little. Kind of looks too up, right? As a designer, you keep tweaking until it looks perfect to your eyes. So let's bring that down. Yeah. So height shouldn't be 50 VH. Let's increase it to 65. Okay. Yeah, it kind of looks balanced here. So okay, I can reduce it. Mobile views because it kind of looked okay there. So I'll say content. Yeah, just content, right? Then height. Let's say let it be 50 VH on mobile. So yeah, looks good. We can end the video right here, but I kind of want an animation for this entire content. So let's use the most basic animation there is, sliding. Okay, so we create animations using the add keyframes query. Okay, so we say add keyframes. So this is just setup. So identifier means name. So I'll say sliding, yeah, slide in camel case. Then I'll say at the beginning of the animation, I want it to have zero opacity. Then transform. So the position should be basically what I want it to be out of the screen. Or minus 100%. Yeah, I think minus 100% should be out of the screen. Oh, let's check that out. Let's check that out. Then 100% at the end, and it should basically be back on the screen. One, it should show fully transform. Then let's say 0% at start. Yeah, let's say go back to the position. Let's see something like that. So out of the screen, I'm back. So let's check that. So I want it for the content, right? So I'll come back to content. Everything is a content. So I'll say animation name. Let me just say animation. Wow, that's too much. Animation. Then I'll say what sliding. So I'll say how long should the animation take? Should it be too long? Let's see 2 seconds. Then not infinite. Let's use ease in, ease out. As it comes in smoothly, it should go out smoothly. Let's check that. Kind of looks mid. And again, it's not coming from the outside. It's just like popping up. The wee one that kind of looks okay, but I don't think that was what I was targeting. So what I was supposed to use here was translate. Yeah, I was supposed to use translate x. So on the x-axis, yeah, I was supposed to use translate. So it will kind of look cool too. So I'll also say translate x. So on the x-axis, it should go out and come in. Okay, let's try that again. Whoa, not bad. I can use it for left. Yeah, I can use it for left, then right, I'll use another animation there. Okay, so let me call this slide in left. Then I'll have another animation. Let's just copy paste, change this to slide in right. So obviously it can't be coming out from the left side. So minus 100% means before you enter the screen, basically that's out of the screen. So I can't have that. So I have to say what 100%, that's the end of the screen, then come back to your position. So this one shouldn't actually take time. Okay, so instead of the whole content, because I don't want the icons moving like that, so I can just cut this basically. So okay, we've not created a rule set for left. Let's do that now. So for everything at the left side, animation sliding left. Alright, so the name first, the time, then the mode, then the right, animation sliding right, animation sliding right. Okay, so let's check that out. Yeah, it came from the left, came from the right, because it's close to the edge. It doesn't really take that long, but still cool. Okay, yeah. So this brings us to the end of the video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends to do this if you are just starting off with HTML and CSS. Very beginner friendly. Yeah, just make sure you subscribe. It really helps a lot. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure you comment what videos you want me to do next, any project ideas. I'm all ears. Thanks for watching.